so be it.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Live to trade another day, live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Is it the bottom yet? I'm trying to buy up everything. Not gonna get upset, just pull the trigger, let it bang. When I see a trade, I'm hopping in like a Uber to secure my future. Up early just like a rooster, eyes glued to the computer, looking for a bag or two. Market cipher on the screen, compliments of trading view. Now I know what I'ma do, buy low and sell high. Even if you try and fail, at least you didn't fail to try. I don't wanna be the type of guy that let fear win. I'm the one that dive in head first and bust my chin. I know FOMO is a no-no, but I still get it in. No, I can't predict the future, but I know I'm bound to win. Later or sooner, I'll be the big kahuna, cause I got big kahunas. I was not scared to get money, I took me some chances and now I'm the big kahuna. And if you scared, might as well get neuter. I'ma keep chasing my dreams, wake up in mansion so big, I need a segue to get from wing to wing. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Don't be scared, G. Like paid in full, get your bread, B. Cold wallet full of crypto, yeah, Big Lebowski. Can't forget to tip the waitress. Fur and loathing in Las Vegas. Tupac told us about the changes. People hating on your greatness. Mansion looking hella spacious. Shoes, they ain't got no laces. This the Aquarius age. Life happen in different phases. Out with money, in with crypto, analog to digital. Could've been rich, but you was scared. What a imbecile. Say you want a miracle, but you bet the minimal. Should've bet it all. Hell no, not the unthinkable. Grow some balls if you got a pair. Man, I double dare you to put it all in the market. No sir, I'm not trying to scare you. Seeking and searching, I need some more money. AI is scary, make us look like dummies. Serious about profit, I need it, I'm hungry. My music all over, but I'm from the country. Bank account thicker than Manuka honey.
Check
got
1 2 1 2. Hey, all right, there we go. We got the mic. We got the mic going.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another
Play. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So we are seeing some volatility. Oh, nothing new here with the volatility. Bitcoin taking a little bit of a cool off. We actually looked like we were about to pump up to some levels. We crushed 112. We were pumping up to 112. Let's get into the 4-hour time frame here. We'll get into the 4-hour time frame. We'll go on the Coinbase chart here, and we are going to look at what is happening. We're going to get our bar pattern out of here. All right, so let's look at the 4-hour and kind of see what's happening in the range on Bitcoin just to start the show. But make sure you guys are hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. You want to click the bell all, so then whenever I go live, whenever I post any content, you are going to get notified immediately. So here you can see we started an uptrend from 107. We were thinking, okay, 107 is a good spot to bottom out here from where we were hitting all-time highs and hitting a bearish divergence at the 123,000, 124,000. You can see the bearish divergence here. You see like a top here and a top there going from bottom to the top, from left to right. And then you can see from left to right on the RSI, we kind of got from left to right a top to the bottom here of the price action. So that kind of correlated with the downturn, with hitting back into trying to test into some previous support. We bounced on previous support at 107. A lot of the levels that we were looking at too were below here at 105. We actually thought, we were surprised that the market didn't actually pull into 105 because that was some really nice key support. Instead, we bounced on 107 because there were some liquidations that got hit there for the longs, and then they wanted to liquidate the shorts up at the top. So they liquidated the shorts at 110, 112, pushed it, ranged it right back down, and pushed it up again to liquidate some more shorts at 113. Now we hit resistance because you can see here we have 113 resistance right here. We didn't hold above the EMA ribbon very strong. We actually just tapped over it, and then you can see here the green 20 EMA line. We're kind of just skirting around it. We're skirting around these moving averages here. And the last time on the 4 hour that we actually were bullish and crossed over was when we bounced off of support from breaking into all-time highs from this bottom, from 107, 108. So the fact that we completed this pattern, we crushed back down, we hit some of these levels, but the reason why, I'll tell you why. If you're wondering why Bitcoin and crypto and kind of just everything in general right now kind of just looks a little sideways, a little choppy, a little volatile, well, we have the federal interest rates as a big thing that's coming up for this month. And also to correlate that, we have jobs numbers came out that were terrible. The jobs numbers were really bad. I think it was speculated that it was going to be like not that many jobs were, let's see. Yeah, this was the U.S. jobs tumbled to 22,000 in August as unemployment hits 4.3%. So the U.S. economy added just only 22,000 jobs, well below the expected. So we were expecting to add 75,000 extra jobs in the economy. But really what's actually happening is that we're having a lot of companies they're firing people, but then they're also they're just being tight. They're being super tight. So then they're not hiring very much, and they're also offloading where they could squeeze some extra, less expense, get some extra revenue, not have to pay as many people. That's kind of happening across the board. And the reason why I kind of know about how the job market is my wife was tuned into kind of looking in certain job sectors, whether it be like in health wellness, just stuff like that. And there are people out there with master's degrees and all the stuff, all the credentials you could ever think of. And these people have been searching for a job for 6 months, and they're not hiring. So there's a lot of sectors of jobs in some of these careers that it's becoming pretty tough. So, and these people are having a hard time getting a job in the field that they went to college for. They might even still be in debt on that particular degree that they went to college for, and now they can't get the damn job. So this is now starting to come through in the jobs numbers, where it was well above well below the expected 75,000 jobs. So the unemployment rate has surged to 4.3%. It's highest since October 2021 after COVID. So this report, combined with the Fed still even like thinking that we're not going to cut rates, because the target rate right now is the target federal fund rate right now is between 4.25 and 4.5% for the federal funding rate. And so it's like an 88% chance that we will get a 25 basis point cut. But then there's actually starting to become a percentage chance that we get a full cut, because I think the Fed, if I remember correctly from hearing from the grapevine of the timeline in crypto here, is that the Fed might have an emergency meeting before the 17th to decide truly if they're going to do 25 or they're going to do 50. Let's see what happens. Because that would be crazy to get closer to the 17th date, which is only 12 days away. Only 12 days away, and we could be seeing this maybe go like 50-50. That would be crazy. Then it's a 50-50% chance. I mean, that would, we could get a 25 basis or a 50 basis point cut. But I think, we are targeting for a rate to be cut somewhere. I always said they're either cutting the cheese, or they're cutting the rate. So let's see what happens. So that's one reason we're having this consolidation. Okay. Now the other reason is the ETFs. So for Ethereum and Bitcoin, we have seen some outflows. So, but if you look at Bitcoin, we've had some inflows, but it's slowed down. And then we kind of had a little bit of buying BlackRock, with the IBIT, they were loading up. And you can see that, but still, we had Fidelity was selling, Bitwise was selling, ARK Invest sold. Let's see, who else was that? Who is that? Franklin Templeton. Okay, because there's Franklin Templeton, Valkyrie, VanEck. These Invesco. These are the main issuers of the most popular Bitcoin ETFs. But really total. On yesterday, we had 222 really outflowing, and BlackRock was the only one that was really buying. So then let's go to Ethereum, and you can see that it's kind of the same thing. The past 4 days, all this week, it was mainly outflowing. It was just slowing down the pace, and we can see this too when we look at the indexes, or we look at the ETF markets. Look at the ETF markets. Look at the volume, and you can see how June, July, and August, we definitely we really did have some major inflows, and then we had a little bit of sell pressure. You can see on the monthly here. Look at how much we were inflowing. So it makes sense that we're taking a breather. We're taking a bit of a cool off, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Like, I don't think we're gonna that was it. Pack it up, guys. That was the top. I think they're gonna continue, I think, to run this thing up. And this is the ETH ETFs. So you can see that starting in June, July, we really started to crank up in the inflows and the volume, and this directly correlated with the price. And so if you've been watching this channel for the months since last year, so we've been talking about this, how we were just gonna do a great educated guess that Ethereum everyone was so bearish. Everyone was so bearish on ETH. And we were trying to be bullish neutral. We were like, look, we like ETH. We're always going to be bullish ETH. If you're a crypto person, you kind of just have a soft spot for ETH, And so we were just going to be like bullish neutral ETH and say, okay, if Farside is tracking the Ethereum ETF and we're able to see like, okay, we saw the playbook of how Bitcoin acted with the ETF inflows. At first, it wasn't like, it wasn't like, there was even some FUD on it. Like, we thought it was going to be it didn't do as well. It was like maybe the first week or two. And then all of a sudden, they started flowing in 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million in the day. Each of those companies, when you look at these companies, these BlackRocks, the Fidelities, the Bitwise, they start to flow in. Starts to flow in. About I think at one point, Bitcoin and ETH was getting close too, because ETH got almost close to over, I think it was like 2 billion in the day. Just insane. It got over 1.5 billion in the day. But if you look at the previous flow data for Bitcoin, starting in January of 2024. I mean, they really, and actually, if you think about it, they actually they were flowing in pretty hard at first. They were flowing in really hard. And then it slowed down around April, kind of mid-year. They really started to slow down right here in June, but then they started picking it back up. They started flowing in. And where was it where they started to do a billion? It was like billions in the day. That started to happen a little closer towards the end of 2024. Oh, and then so the end of 2024, October, November, that's when we started to get 1.3 billion, 1.1 billion, just a lot of cash flowing into the ETFs. So you can see really more so inflows than outflows, compared to the past year. And so what I'm thinking with Ethereum, and what my guess was, is that they were just going to do the same thing. We're going to have that very similar flow. Ethereum starting in July 2024 was a little bit kind of started to pick up. It wasn't as strong as Bitcoin, but then you can see they were just nothing. I mean, it was just like ghost town. I mean, it was just zeros. No one was buying nothing in October because it was all flowing into Bitcoin. Bitcoin was top dog. It was top daddy. And so that's kind of where you see that ETH BTC ratio chart started to find that bottom at that same point. Look at this. You go into, let's go to the monthly. Go into the monthly chart and look at this. We were up here in that point. Look. And so the ETH BTC chart said no flows into the Ethereum was just kind of was just like, they were like, nope, it's all Bitcoin. And then you can see that the whales were doing the same thing. They were like, look, we're good. We are going to basically, like, ETH is hitting the bottom at 1400 and Bitcoin is crushing. It found a bottom, and now ETH signaled with the ratio and flippening of some whales, and volume activity and trading volume switching back into Ethereum. This was shown by the ETH BTC ratio. So this is why I think it's not crazy to think about Tom Lee's, crazy bullish, price calls. We were talking about a lot about Tom Lee's calls yesterday on the live stream, and we forgot to pull up this chart because this is kind of like this is interesting because this is just kind of showing you Wyckoff here of how they Wyckoffed it right here at the base of the previous 2017-18 bull run, and then they had it up here running up, and then right after COVID, and we had the 2020-2021 run. We went up 54. It was a 54x move to the upside from the bottom. And so this macro research, I love macro. I was so micro for a lot of my quote crypto career, crypto journey. I was like too focused on short-term stuff. But when you really start to zoom out and look long-term, it just gives you more hope. And honestly, like, I feel less stressed. I feel less, and this is hilarious. Oh my God. Love it. But yeah, so from the bottom, which was about 1400, it was right there. It wicked, the wick was 1300, but the candle body was around 14, about 1400, something like that. And so yeah, the 54x, this is what I'm seeing for Ethereum. I can feel it, my friends, but we have to just be patient. We have to, my wife said it even earlier. She was like, I said, just wait, babe, just wait. And she said, it's been 3.5, 4 years. And I said, it's okay. You got to just, it's okay. It hasn't been that long. I want to think like an Amazon investor in the early 2000s, That's how I want to think about it. So basically what they were pulling from, look, I mean, you can see it. Here's the chart. If you're looking at, and you have to, the only way you're going to see this is on the monthly chart. The only way you're going to see this is on the monthly chart, where we did this double bottom, we double bottomed, and we went up freaking 7,000%. I mean, just craziness. Massive multiples here. And then for that first initial, that crazy ICO season, ETH season, from the 2017 run. See, we weren't in crypto back then. We were, a bit, just a little clueless. Like, we knew about Bitcoin, but we were not thinking about investing. We weren't thinking about anything like that. And then what really pushed us into investing and even looking at it was COVID. And that was with like a lot of people, you started to think about it. You started to, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like think about my investment accounts. And there were some people around me that I worked with that were like, they were getting into stocks and they were looking at different, different spreads and stuff like that. And I was like, listen, I was kind of, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you talking about? And they were like, oh, we're just like, looking at some stocks. And I was like, oh, okay. This was around 2018, 2019. I was like, my wife, was pregnant at the time. And it's like trying to figure this stuff out. You're like, okay, what's the plan? Is there a plan? Just trying to figure stuff out. And I mean, look at this. Crazy. So you just got to be long-term. You got to be long-term. So that was a 7,000% move to the upside. So if ETH bottomed, if you think ETH has bottomed at 1,400, and we can even just do even just a little bit, even just half of that run, 1,600, percent move to the upside, a $24,000 ETH. But, that's our best case scenario. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario is I'm bullish neutral, and we're at least going to go to like some of these Fibonacci extensions, which is, we got that first one, 618, which is 5,741. We got the second 618, which is the 8,412. Once we hit those levels, then, you're going to see that consolidation. You pull back from those highs, then we can be able to, pull another Fibonacci level and kind of see what range can reveal itself from there. A lot of the times these Fibonacci levels, if you're looking at them and pulling them on the weekly and or on the monthly chart, you can kind of see from the top, you pull it from the top, pull it down to the bottom, and then you're going to get these interesting levels that reveal themselves that the market has been staying pretty dang true to those levels. All right, so I've been running my mouth. I want to give a shout out to everyone who's here, and give a shout out to Squirrely. We got Ozzy Osbourne. We got JJ. Love the profile picture. We actually have a thumbnail. It's one of our favorite thumbnails that we ever made, and it has that Pepe with the pills. You're gonna take the red pill or the blue pill. Which one? The steak isn't really real, but those signals in your brain and everything are telling you that I can taste the steak, but it's not, it might not be real, You're like Cypher, ignorance is bliss, right? He's like, ignorance is bliss, Or do you want to know the truth? What truth? That there is no spoon. Okay, so shout out to Trade Intuition. Shout out to Lasers. Shout out to Hyro. We got Hyro in the house. Says, how's the ETH ETF inflows going? Well, we explained it. Hopefully we explained it enough. He said ETH has held insanely strong during this correction. And yes, it has. It has held strong, and I think it has to do with these ETH whales, the Tom Lees out there. The Lubbins, the Joe Lubbins, and maybe just maybe. Finally, a lot of the market in CT, they started to pivot back into ETH, and they're buying back. We said that was probably going to happen. People were going to go, dang it, now I'm buying ETH at 4K. But I think it's just kind of like, hey, think about the XRP army. If they believe in XRP, they have to buy it right now at its highs. I mean, that sucks. But that improves your conviction and your belief. It's just like people who are Bitcoin maxis. Hey, you better start buying Bitcoin at these highs. You better start buying it. That's just kind of what you have to do. You know, you have to be a part of the culture. It's just like how being a part of the culture and being a part of memes, we're going to get into the memes. We're going to talk about some memes. There's just certain ones that you kind of just have to hold. I mean, you have to have a little Dogecoin. You have to have a little bit of Dogecoin. I think Pepe, I think that's very necessary. You know, you don't want things ripping to the upside and then people are asking you and you're in crypto and they're like, well, do you have Dogecoin? And you tell them no. I think they would think you're a damn sham. So I felt like that even with Bitcoin. It was like I wasn't holding any Bitcoin and I had a bunch of alts. And then, you know, you're just like, I'm talking about crypto and it's like, I don't even hold Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. And so sometimes it can feel like that, but you guys obviously make your own choices. You figure out what you like, what you want to hold, what you want to believe in. It is not my job to convince you to buy a certain coin. That's not why I'm here. I am not I'm not that kind of content creator. I do tell you what I have in my bag and what I like and what are my favorites. And you guys tell me what your favorites are. And a lot of the times it's very similar stuff. You guys like similar stuff, but then you have your favorite memes, or you have your stuff that you just have a soft spot for. Maybe it's your first cryptos that you ever found, you know? So everyone has a story or something of why they like a particular thing. And some people are just straight degenerate and they're just like, I don't care. I'm just trying to find the next freaking runner. You know, what's the next thing? But we don't want to take that particular approach. We want to kind of, you know, the thing that I have found over time in crypto and also just with like business or content or like the way you do deals or whatever, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are things that just have worked for centuries, for years. Just stuff that people figured out, and it's like, that's just the blueprint. And then you can kind of adjust it and do nuances, but pretty much, I mean, it's been like some of these things, these hacks or these things that you can do, and they haven't changed very much. They haven't changed. So like, for instance, like the whole like dollar cost averaging strategy, you know, doing less, just accumulating and knowing that like you gotta have more time and also money in the market to be able to really truly like also understand it, see how your portfolio moves and fluctuates. Like you do kind of figure out where you can pay yourself a little bit, but also to just like have more of a general macro outlook. Think about like gold investors, for instance. You know, think about people who are were super bullish gold, and they were like, and also stock market. They could be like, hey, I was bullish S&P and gold, and really not much into the dollar, and they didn't even have to have any exposure into crypto or any super volatile asset, and they were able to preserve their wealth. And so, very much a long-term strategy. And so, what I think about with crypto, when we've broken down, you know, the total cryptocurrency market cap, and we compare it to the gold chart, this is where I like to really, and let's just take off all of the indicators. I mean, we don't need any of that. But yeah, I think the total cryptocurrency market cap chart is your ticket to get out of the you know, selly GD mentality, like, oh, it's all over, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you have to think about capital markets are on chain, and they're getting stronger on chain. There's all of the bullish sentiment that we could ever want to just know that we're in the right place at the right time. We're in the right place at the right time. So when you read the title, your future depends on this simple fact. You need to learn crypto and learn about where all this money has been flowing. You need to learn about where all this money has been flowing this whole time and why has it been so. And if you're not hearing your barber or just regular people out there starting to talk to you about crypto and ask you about Bitcoin and what I should buy, and they're not, and you haven't heard that yet, then you're massively freaking early. If you haven't been bombarded by text messages from friends saying like, "What do I buy?" I mean, we're early. We're really early. All right, so let's go through a little bit of the news. Let's see. We got I liked this. This made me James More Light, ticker Bitcoin dev, said, in my experience with meme coins since 2021, I've learned some unexpected yet crucial things. He said, no matter what, you should instantly ban all Nigerians from your Telegram unless they're accidentally really funny characters and you can use them for voice acting, say as pirates who go into killer whales. They will always scam and clog up the chat with beggary and wheedling. They also send you 8 trillion DMs and then spend all day saying, check DM. That's so funny. I thought that was funny. Okay, so big thing in the news was that World Liberty Financial froze Justin Sun's wallet that had his allocation of tokens. And so there was some speculation, like what was he doing with it? And there was some also going down in the pipeline of news about World Liberty Financials that are some exchanges that were manipulating and selling the token, offloading the token to quote suppress the price. I don't know. I mean, who knows if that's true or not? But this is true. They did freeze his wallet because I mean maybe there was some fishy movements going on. I think Justin Sun sent like a test transaction in some wallets. So it's really, so let's see. So he said, to the World Liberty Financial team and the global community, said, as of one of the early major investors in World Liberty Financials, and we talked about this, how he is a big investor. So like we've kind of been watching what Justin Sun's doing in terms of being involved with the Trump family, being involved with whatever it is, with Tron, being involved with anything with the United States. We're very curious about it. So I have contributed not only capital, but also my trust and support for the future of this project. My goal has always been to grow alongside the team and community and to jointly build a strong and healthy World Liberty financial ecosystem. He said, however, during the course of operations, my tokens were unreasonably frozen. So he says, as of one of the early investors, I joined together with everyone. We bought in the same way and we all deserve the same rights. So interesting. So I love and respect every member of this community. Tokens are sacred and valuable. This should be the most basic value of any blockchain is the token. So it's also what makes us stronger and more fair than traditional finance. I call on the team to respect these principles, unlock my tokens, and let's move forward together toward the success of World Liberty Financials. I believe that a truly great financial brand must be built on fairness, transparency, and trust, not on unilateral actions that freeze investor assets. Such measures not only violate the legitimate rights of investors, but also risk damaging broader confidence in World Liberty Financial. So 100%. That's 100% true. So it's interesting. Yeah. So this wallet, we've been tracking the wallet. So right now in this wallet, we did see the value go up as high as 14 billion to about $15 billion in this wallet. Now it's down to 9 billion, just casual, casually go down $6 billion. Oh my God. Okay. So, USD1, there was about 400 or $500 million of USD1 in here. So that's probably a big, that was a big, they're probably moving some stuff around. They have some staked USDT, some staked USDC, also some staked wrapped ETH, liquid staked wrapped ETH, and some Aave wrapped Bitcoin. And then they have Tron, Mantle, EOS, Ondo, and they're basically staking most of their ETH, but they do have 23 ETH that they're not staking. Casually, goes down a couple $1 billion. And it's funny, like with our wallets, our wallets go down like a few thousand. We're like, oh my God. But yeah, they just, casually goes down a few billion. Yeah, lasers. What's 6 billion among friends? What's 6 billion among some friends here? So, but the thing is that if you focus on all this too much in the micro, it will make you feel bearish. You will feel bearish. And that's ultimately, I think, sometimes the goal. If people are wanting to shake you out, or you're just like, people want to buy your bags, they want to buy the supply, they want to hoard all the coins, and like we should all be feeling is like, you'll never get my coins. You have to pry them out of our dead, cold, bare hands, out of our diamond, like our crusted diamond hands. You have to pull them. You're not getting them. You're not getting them. We were here first, before the suits. That's what you guys have to remember. You always have to remember that you were here before the damn suits were. You were here before the suits. That is all you need to know. You were here before the suits. But Wojak, we love the Wojak Twitter. The Wojak X account is great. Okay, so yeah, so basically a lot of the catalysts of this price action right now, jobs look terrible. A lot of that is just basically it is the beginnings of a lot of unravelings. I think these next 4 years are going to be it's just unraveling years. Like we have the unraveling of TradFi. That's going on chain. We have basically like if anything was analog, it is now being fully digitized. So that is unraveling. The housing market is unraveling. The way that we're operating our debt and the national debt and printing money, all that stuff, like that's just gonna unraveling. And now look, all of it's going on chain with the modality of stable coins. AI is a huge disruptor, more so than people realize, and they don't want to, there's people that are given the warning signs and stuff like that, but we've thought about that a lot. And like, think about how in 2030, which is not that far, we're not that far. We're 5 years from 2030. By that time, it is estimated that 60 to 70% of the jobs, like manual labor kind of, jobs, like certain jobs, like maybe some factory jobs, they're going to go bye-bye. A lot of jobs, it said, this was what AI said. AI said it was 50 to 60% of jobs in certain sectors will be replaced by AI. So that's going to be millions of people out of work and trying to figure out a way to make money without freaking out. That is if there is anything that we should be worried about, is millions of people not having a job, because that can cause a lot of problems emotionally, financially, societally. It's just, that will not be a good thing. It can cause some chaos. It can cause some uncertainty, worry, fear, and that never is a good thing, because that causes people to get desperate. When people get desperate, they do things irrationally. They do things that they normally wouldn't do, and it's not good. And then you get that combined with a collective energy of, oh my God, millions and millions of people now don't have a job. And like, it's just like, it's being replaced by AI and robots and machines. I got to learn a whole new career. I got to learn a whole new set of skills. People are not understanding the severity of what that is going to do. It's serious. So I've thought about it in terms of, this is where I think if you've ever thought about how a universal basic income would even come to play, that's where that comes from. That's where it's like the whole idea of capitalism and a society that's based off of workforce labor, a lot of it, about 60-70% of it being workforce labor, just labor markets. And that's all. Then now that's like now being completely replaced by something completely different. That's a problem. So how is it going to be solved? Like, so, okay. 75,000 jobs. Okay. 20,000 jobs. How about that number just keeps getting weaker and weaker? What if that's the case? That would suck. This is why it's very important to start learning about crypto, learning about how to use AI, building companies from AI or from crypto, learning about investing, and however you got to get, and you're figuring out how to get capital into these markets, this is what is going to save you. This is what is going to, this is going to be a big factor on how your future is. And honestly, I think it's damn crazy that only, and I love you guys, by the way, the 5 people that are in here on YouTube, bless your damn souls. But this channel and the stuff that I'm talking about right now and what I'm talking about needs to be heard by thousands and thousands of people. And there are so many people out there right now that feel lost. They don't know what the freak to do. And they need these channels. So YouTube, I'm calling on you right now to stop being so damn bearish on my channel and push it out in the freaking algorithm. Push it. These people need to hear this stuff. It is so necessary. Because while the system would love for them to continue to keep being in the system, keep being a pawn, not understand about money, not start to learn about this stuff. I'd love for you to not watch this channel. But for the past 42 minutes, I've given you a pretty damn good macro breakdown of why the prices are even doing what they are and why you should still be bullish. And I didn't even tell you what to buy. I'm not even shilling you anything. I don't even care. Just be bullish crypto. DCA, dollar cost average. Build your portfolio. Build it up. The most important thing that we can really do right now is just you gotta just have this plan. You gotta have a plan to have a successful bull run. We want to be diversifying. We want to have multiple exchanges and wallets and all this stuff set up. We want to be learning how different wallets operate, which ones function more so to your liking. You might like the Jupiter wallet, Sol wallet better than the Phantom wallet. You might like Solflare better than Phantom. You might like Brave's wallet because it's got all the networks and you can just use that and it's right on your browser. You might like that wallet. I mean, there's so many different things that you can test out and use and have them ready to go. And if you are not doing that and you haven't done that already, then you are wasting time. So it's very important. And so then once you figure all that out and you're like, okay, I'm figuring out what I want to diversify into. I got a DCA strategy. I got my wallet set up. I got cold storage, hot wallet, exchanges set up to be able to, take advantage of whatever opportunities might be out there. Then you are going to figure out your hodling and taking profit strategy. Because that's also one of the most important things too. What's your time trajectory? How long are you willing to hold these things? When at a point because this is the thing, your portfolio is going to be different from someone else's. Someone might have been buying and DCAing a year before you have, or they were aggressive in buying dips. And so you could have the same coins. You could be buying the same coins, but they put more money in, or they bought at the dip. Maybe you were buying every time it was green. I don't know, because that's easy to do because it's more euphoric. It feels better. It feels good. It's green. That's when a lot of the times they buy more when it's green and it looks good. Oh, it's looking good. Let's all buy more. Oh, let's all celebrate. Fireworks. Yay. Let's go. But when it's red, it's a little harder to buy. You don't feel like you want to buy. But really, you have to flip your psychology and be like, oh, like this, let's freaking go. But so if you're comparing and you say that person who kept buying the dips and they probably put maybe an extra 1,000 or 2,000 in there, their portfolio at certain points in the same run could be up 4x or 5x. And your portfolio might be at like a 2x or a 3x or whatever. It might be down a little bit. But so for instance, that person who has now their portfolio is at a 5x or whatever it may be, they might want to scoop off a little bit of those profits. And it could be just 10%. It could be, so say 10% at a 2x, 20% at a 3x, and et cetera, et cetera. And that all depends on your risk profile. Maybe you're like, okay, I would want to hold a little longer, adds a little bit more risk to it. But because, for instance, like say you just keep holding and we go into a bear market and then you have to wait another 2 years or 3 years for it to get to the next levels. And you're not even guaranteed that as well, because we've seen where some projects, they toast. I mean, cool, you can hold it all you want, but it's just holding it to the ground, So that's where you have to you're weighing the risk, you're weighing all of this in your strategy. And if you're not, then you're just flying blind. So then you're trying to figure out like how you want to DCA out. And then once you take the profits, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to re-gamble it back in? Are you going to reinvest? I always say re-gamble because say your portfolio, you got a pretty decent portfolio. Maybe you got DCA'd $15,000 in the market, $20K in the market. That's pretty decent. I'd say in crypto right now, if you got 10K or more in crypto, you have a very good chance for that to 5x or 10x, and you make 50K or you make 100K. That's amazing. That's great. I mean, that's a pretty damn decent return. I would be happy with that. And you guys should totally be happy with that too. I mean, I would be like, hey, that's great. And so, but what are you going to do with those profits? So say I'm going to take 50% right off the clip just to hedge against myself, just to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. And what are you going to do with that then? Are you going to try? Because what happens and what people have done is they've taken that money that they made and the profits, and then they invested in a new chain that comes out, and then they end up losing like half the profits that they made. Or they invest at whatever the top was, or they go into whatever the altcoin and goes down 60%, and you just like evaporated your gains. So this would be probably one of the most important things, is just to figure out like exactly what you're gonna do to preserve the gains. Like, don't be dumb and buy a Lambo or some freaking sports car or something like that. It's just like, no, how are you going to make that now turn into another 100K? How are you going to, without getting rugged and without doing something stupid? So I bet there's a lot of things out there. Like, you got dividend stocks, you got index funds, you could put that into the most boring thing ever, but that would be the smartest thing ever. Boring is smart. So, like, sometimes the boring, simple, keep it stupid simple, KISS method, after the fact, because look, you kind of might have made, it was difficult, and oh my gosh, you didn't know, you were taking the risk, you had altcoins, oh my gosh, and then you made it, you made it, you did it, you successfully made it. And then it's like, how are you going to keep it now? Because that's the thing. It's like, hey, like how are you going to preserve it? That's the best thing. So that's where it comes into the question. Do you buy Bitcoin then? Do you go into Bitcoin? Do you buy gold? What do you do? Do you set up another investment account that's very stable? It's paying you dividends every month. It's passive income. I mean, that's where you start to think. That's how you retire. That's how you end up on a 4-hour work week. That's how you end up Tim Ferriss style 4-hour work week. I got my money working for me, and now I can explore and work on other things. That's freedom. And that's actually true retirement, because then true retirement is like you have the freedom to just like create and do and just kind of like and through that, a lot of the times you're quote retired, but you're still able to do stuff that generates money or resources and and a lot of cool memories too. So that's what we're wanting. We're wanting that time, that freedom, the ability to create without necessarily needing to out of necessity because I got to pay my bills. You just got the money working for you. So that's your freaking alpha right there. That's your alpha. You're not going to get that on a fucking Thread Guy live stream. Just going to have a bunch of people come on and interview. They have no idea who they are and how they made the millions, besides they don't tell you that they're freaking VC insiders and they had it way too easy. So there you go. This stream's for the real people, the people that are out there actually working and trying to raise a family, make a living, and they're not like in the freaking Solana meme coin trench. Like, no, what's the practical real way? Not this like vape cabal way of being successful. Because sometimes it might be a bit of a slow drip, and that's boring. I know, sometimes the slow drip's boring, but I tell you what, man, those people that slow dripped Doge and SHIB and some of those coins back in the day, and they held them, and they just had that conviction. And think about the original meme coin cult was Bitcoin. The original meme coin, believers that were delusional to the point of like taking the biggest, attacks and onslaughts and financial history, they were proven right. And so that's why I still get Bitcoin Maxi. I will give you credit, because if you're truly were able to sustain the beat down on Bitcoin that has happened over the past 10 years, I mean, I wish everyone that was in crypto had the conviction of a Bitcoin Maxi for just crypto in general. But that's what I feel like I've tried to develop in my own thesis, to just be bullish crypto and just figure out how to continue to navigate these ecosystems and preserve the wealth, and honestly get to the point where, like Crash said it. Actually, it was funny. I said this on the stream the other day, and then Crash comes and posts literally exactly what I said. He said, with how widely crypto will be used in the future, you won't want to swap it into fiat, or you won't want to sell it. Like, you're not going to need to sell it into cash, because by that time, fiat will be such dog crap that nobody will want to use it anymore. I literally said that the other day. I said, you just need to be acquiring digital assets, Litecoin, Bitcoin, ETH, I don't care what it is, XRP, Cardano, just get them all. Basket of digital assets. Because at a point, you're going to be able to go, oh, I want that thing that you have. Okay, well, what do you got? Well, I got Pepe, I got Dogecoin, I got a little Monero. What do you want? I got Bitcoin, I got ETH. What do you want? You like open your jacket. What do you got? I got this. I got all anything you want, anything you want, I got it. And that's how I'd like to operate. That's why I think in the future, It's not about like, oh, like, what do I do? What do I do about my taxable event? I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to just keep it and I'm going to use it because everything will be able to, oh, Scuba Dre, he says he's still on Brett or shilling something new. He's still on Brett. He's still bullish Brett. That's what I say with Crash. Has not wavered on his Brett call, like, or Brett being like still going to go to like 6 billion, 10 billion. He thinks it's going to go to 20 billion. He thinks Brett will go to 20 billion. I think fair. I think conservative case would be like, I think 10 billion would be fair. I think it got to 2 billion. I mean, it got to 2 billion, even when we weren't in the even close to a bullish, framework of crypto. But he's also bullish Monero. The big one that he's been shilling a lot is Monero, and I wouldn't consider it like shilling. He's just saying like, hey, Monero at a point where Bitcoin starts to get like, quote, too controlled, and it's not really at the, quote, like vision that people thought it was going to be in terms of privacy, then the Bitcoin whales and some of the capital markets and money will move over to Monero. So that's a good assumption. And then also he's bullish Ton. So right now Crash, he's still set on Brett. He's like, look, he's drawing the squiggly lines. He's doing the same things we are. He's like, look, I'm going to draw a squiggly line to the price that I want it to go to. We like doing that too. We love drawing our squiggly lines as well. We got a bunch of squiggly lines on ticker Bitcoin. But this chart, I love the ticker Bitcoin chart because it's like a heartbeat. It's like a cardiograph. Did I say that right? Cardiograph? Yeah, I'm smart. Cardiograph for the heart, heart monitor. And it's got some life to it. So this is the one that you just like, it's another one of those coins, and a lot of meme coins are like this, or even just altcoins in general. It's where you gotta believe, you're buying the bottom of the range. So, which is great. I mean, even with Pepe, look, Pepe, Crash made a good example, and I've always made this example too. It's like, hey, it always kind of looks like garbage, and like wherever it looks like garbage is usually the time where you're losing sentiment. You're like, oh, you're getting convinced it's over, guys. And then that's usually, it's the darkest before the dawn, as they say, and then it goes wah-bam. I mean, it goes wah-boom, 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 wah-boom. And that's what it ends up looking like. All right, give me just a second, guys.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOS.
Sorry, guy. I know you're probably like just driving you nuts. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna run that commercial over and over again until sorry, someone was calling my phone. But yeah, so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and end the live stream. I think because we went for about an hour, talked about everything we wanted to talk about. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's about everything we wanted to cover. I think, yeah, wanted to mention about Tom Lee again, a little bit about the altcoin thesis, why we're having such a consolidation and the price going down and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's it. Check our pulse chain bag. looking a little, but it's okay. We just got to we're going to get some more in here. That's the other ecosystem. You know, it's kind of our little golden goose we think is going to do some interesting things. But yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and we will see you on the next one.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOS.